Good morning. I want to walk you through the business startup checklist just to give you this big kind of overview of all the steps of starting and running your business. And then that'll help us make better use of our time together on the call. So, the first step is to really think about what your niche is going to be. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about what is your teaching superpower? Why did you become a teacher? What is the most important thing that your students are going to gain from working with you? And that will help you stay motivated, stay focused on what it is you're trying to build, because this is your teacher superpower. This is what makes you different from everybody else in the field. And so that needs to be a core part of all of your messaging and all of everything that you do. So I recommend making something really pretty, possibly in Canva, to just keep that in front of your eyes as you're working, because that'll inform everything else that you do. Next, you're going to be working through the steps of kind of creating a business plan. So with that focus on what your niche is and your core values and beliefs about teaching and your teacher superpower and what you want for your students, I want you to create a menu of services. Then a business name. So your name is going to be, typically they recommend something that is descriptive of what it is that you're doing, and also kind of catchy and easy to remember. Once you have some ideas for your name, this is actually not a bad time to even start marketing, because you can poll your community to say, hey, I'm starting a business. This is what I want to do. Here's who I want to serve. Here are my ideas for names. What do you think? And that's just kind of will get like your community invested, because they're going to want to see if you pick their name. Once you have some ideas for the names that you want, you need to go on to your your state's business website. So whatever that happens to be. And this is where I do recommend getting a SCORE mentor if you're in the United States, because they can help you to navigate the state business registration system, and they'll make the recommendations based on your state. This can vary wildly from a $250 registration fee and an 18-page online application to like a 15-minute visit down to your like state registrar's office or your county's office, and just registering it with a simple like handwritten application and no money whatsoever. So that's why I really do recommend getting a SCORE mentor, if for nothing else, just to help you navigate that state portion of getting it registered. Then, once it's registered, so you know the name's available, you've claimed it, this has now given you provisional copyright on everything that you do within that state. Nobody else can use your name in that state but you. Then you're going to apply for your federal EIN number. This is basically the social security number for your business, and it's completely free. So keep scrolling until you find free, because there are a ton of scammers out there trying to take money to complete this form for you. And honestly, it's like 20 minutes and it's so easy. And so don't spend any money to do that. From there, I want you to kind of calculate your operating budget. And if you want help, I do have a blog post on how I'm able to keep my operating budget below $50 a month for my teaching business. From there, again, you're going to look back at the students you want to serve most. That is going to become your ideal client avatar. We'll refer to that as your ICA, and make them as real as possible. If you can even base them off of people and students and parents that you already know, even better, because this is a very important piece of your marketing. From there, once you know who it is, this is another great opportunity to start getting your community excited and invested in what you're doing. Design a logo, pick brand colors and fonts. For my first business, I let my community kind of choose, and I didn't really love it. I mean, I still don't really love it. It works. And the people that were picking these things out for me were not my ideal client, which I think is part of the reason I don't necessarily love it as much. Whereas what I came up with for the private practice teacher, I focused on what I really love and what makes me happy. And my then 7-year-old helped me design my logo. So this is a place that's really fun, but you can also, show them some brand colors and put some, like mock-ups together and ask your community again to what what colors do you like? What fonts do you like? Here's the name that won. Now what help me build out the rest of this? And again, they're going to be invested because they want to know if you pick their ideas. Then from that point, I do recommend having some online presence, some form of contact, whether that be a Facebook page or a Wix site, which you can absolutely do for free when you're first getting started. And then when you're ready to start investing more money into it, you can get a custom domain, but you don't need to do that at first. But people do like having a place to go to learn more about you and your business before they make the first contact. So I do recommend having just don't overthink it. Don't get caught up and keep yourself from launching because of that. But it's nice to have just an online brochure, just a place where people can ask questions, where they can contact you via email and just get some of their questions answered before they make first contact with you. And then again, you've already started marketing. Word of mouth is king. So tell everybody what you're doing. And they likely know somebody who knows somebody who is your ideal client and could really benefit from your services. Grow comfortably on your socials. Don't stress yourself out about it. Again, you're just building depth of presence. And just because you put something out there doesn't mean anybody's going to see it. So don't let your perfectionism really get in your way. Old school marketing still works. So again, because you know who your ideal client is and you know who their parents are, you know where their parents hang out. Make sure you're putting some flyers there if you're able to. Starbucks, I think, has a board where you can put up flyers. That's a great place. Join and follow homeschool and tutoring groups in your area. It's a great way to find out who is in your area locally and the types of things that they're interested in. I don't necessarily want you promoting yourself on there, but it is a great way to learn more about your community. Your space and resources. So think about where it is that you're going to be working, whether that's your online space or your physical space that you're going to be meeting students in. I actually meet a lot of my students at Starbucks because there's Wi-Fi, or Panera, again, because there's Wi-Fi, and we can get something to drink and just sit there and have our lesson. And that has worked out great for me for the last 5 years. Equip your teaching space. I don't need to read this to you, but you need to be aware of that and the different video conferencing tools and platforms. Again, I talk about that in my blog post. And then creating your workflow systems. So think about how you're going to market, think about your terms of service, think about an onboarding and payment procedure process for working with your students. You want to kind of at least have some ideas of these things and have them in place when you first start interviewing your first students and you start onboarding your first students. You want to already have a clear path in your head of where everything is going to be going. And I do recommend having at least a separate account. It doesn't necessarily need to be a business account, but having, even if it's just like a savings account or an extra checking account or something for your business, that will help a ton at tax time when you get there. Just to have some separation between your personal and your business finances will be a huge help. So I hope that this was really helpful in giving you a big overview of kind of the whole process of starting up and marketing and running your business. And then I look forward to talking with you in person and answering any questions you have about how to do this. All right, take care. Bye.